Vaibhav came crying into his father's room. "What happened, Vaibhav? Why are you crying?" Mohit asked, pulling his son close. "Papa, aunt and grandma, no one is nice," said Vaibhav, as he clung to Mohit and sobbed softly. "No, son, don't say that. Look, your aunt takes such good care of you. She feeds you, teaches you, and looks after you like a mother." "Did she scold you?" Mohit asked emotionally. "Papa, it's all just a show. When you are at home, she suddenly starts feeding me or teaching me. But actually, it's Usha Bai who gives me food," Vaibhav told his father while wiping his tears. "All right, now tell me what happened just now." Papa, grandma, grandpa, uncle auntie, and aunt were all sitting outside in the hall. Grandma organized a drawing competition for all of us. "Manu finished his drawing before me and showed it," Vaibhav was saying when Mohit interrupted. "Son, anyone can come first sometimes." "No, Papa, that's not it. I got up at the same time too." Aunt and grandma kept showing Manu's drawing to uncle and auntie and praising it. When I showed my drawing, no one even looked at it. Everyone started talking among themselves, and no one was looking at me or listening to me. I kept shaking grandma and saying, "Grandma, look at my drawing too." But then aunt and grandma took uncle, auntie, uncle, and grandpa outside for a walk, said Vaibhav, bursting into tears as he hugged his father. "Papa, I tore up my drawing and threw it away." Mohit began to feel suspicious and asked Vaibhav about Piyu. "All right, tell me this, do aunt and grandma love Piyu or not?" "Papa, Piyu gets scolded by Aunt Pooja, and she makes her do small chores too. But her own daughter, she treats her like a princess, way more than necessary," Vaibhav said angrily, clearly irritated. "Now stop crying and bring Piyu inside too," Mohit told Vaibhav, asking him to bring Piyu into his room. Mohit owned a large mall. His wife, Sujata, had passed away while giving birth to Piyu. Sujata's parents also owned a mall. Despite having wealthy parents and a wealthy husband, money couldn't save her. Vaibhav was 5 years old at the time. Today, Piyu is 3 years old and Vaibhav is 8. Without their mother, Piyu and Vaibhav were raised by their grandparents and their aunt and uncle. Mohit's brother had a small clothing shop, which Mohit had also helped support. Mohit had his own bungalow, but after Sujata's death, he moved in with his parents at their insistence. Although they were raising Mohit's children, in return, Mohit took care of all the household expenses. Mohit was content, also because his brother's children, Manu and Neha, were close in age to his own, and his children were growing up alongside them. Mohit remained busy with work all day. Fearing the cruelty of a stepmother, he didn't want to remarry. His work was so demanding that he was often away on tours. Hearing all this from Vaibhav today filled his heart with emotion. Doubts began to creep into his mind. Could it be that his family was mistreating his children? Were they only after his money? Just then, Piyu entered the room. Mohit watched her closely as she quietly picked up all the shoes lying on the floor and placed them to one side of the bed. She picked up all the trash from the floor and threw it into the dustbin. Mohit didn't call out to her, he just kept watching. It didn't sit well with him that such a small child was doing these chores. Softly, Mohit asked Vaibhav, "Why is she doing all this?" Vaibhav said, "Papa, for the past few days, Aunt has been making her pick up all the trash from every room and gather the shoes." Hearing this, Mohit's eyes filled with tears. He pulled both children into his arms and cried bitterly. "Papa, we should also have a mama, then Aunt and Grandma wouldn't be able to say anything to us," Vaibhav said as he sat beside his father on the sofa. "Vaibhav, you know your mother is no longer in this world. Now, if any woman comes, she would be a stepmother, and perhaps you don't understand what a stepmother can be like," Mohit said, placing Piyu on his lap and taking a deep breath. "Papa, I know everything, Vaibhav replied in a tone that made it sound like he knew a lot. Mohit asked in surprise, "What do you know? Come on, tell me Chu." "Papa, when you had gone to Delhi, there was talk about your marriage here at home. Grandma was telling Grandpa that now so many proposals are coming in, sooner or later a match will have to be made." Just then, Aunt took me and Piyu into another room and said, "Now your stepmother will come, and she will beat us every day. She won't even give us food," Aunt said. "All right, now you tell me why your marks were low again in all subjects this time." Mohit changed the subject and said, "Go bring your school bag, I'll help you study." Mohit sat down to teach Piyu and Vaibhav. Piyu had only recently been admitted to school, and she still didn't know how to write even the letter A. Suddenly, Mohit noticed that Vaibhav's class teacher had called him to school the next day. Mohit felt strongly that these motherless children were not being properly raised. Even the tuition isn't helping at all. Rima has always been smart. Why would she want my kids to do better than hers? I just don't know what to do, Mohit thought. The next day, Mohit went to meet Vaibhav's class teacher. He was sitting in the waiting room when a teacher came in with Vaibhav. Mohit was momentarily spellbound by the young and beautiful teacher, but remembering the reality of his age, he quickly looked away, shifting his eyes here and there. "Look, sir, Vaibhav is intelligent, but he neither does his homework nor comes prepared. Why don't you do something about it?" Jasleen ma'am said a bit firmly. Mohit felt nervous, but since it was a matter concerning his child, he couldn't respond harshly. He said, "Ma'am, he's a motherless child. You can understand how difficult things must be." "Oh, I'm sorry, but that doesn't answer my question. You've enrolled your son in the city's #1 school, and you're spending so much money, then what's the point of it all?" Jasleen said more seriously. "Sir, you need to create the right environment at home. Hire someone, arrange proper tuition, do something." "Ma'am, I've tried everything already, but nothing has worked. If you suggest, I can start being strict with him now. Maybe out of fear of being scolded or punished, he'll start studying," Mohit said thoughtfully. No, you are going in the wrong direction," Jasleen ma'am said, showing compassion. "Do this instead, check his work every day. If there's any difficulty, talk to me. And if I need to inform you about anything, I'll call you." Both exchanged phone numbers. Many days passed. Marriage proposals from well-off families started coming for Mohit. Now Mohit, too, wanted to get married, for the sake of his children. He wanted a woman who would take good care of his kids. One day, as Mohit was passing down a street, he saw some boys surrounding a cycle rickshaw in which a girl was sitting. There weren't many people around. The afternoon heat had made the streets almost empty. Mohit stopped his car near the rickshaw and peeked out. To his surprise, the girl was none other than Vaibhav's teacher, Jasleen ma'am. Mohit immediately got out of the car. As soon as he stepped out, he asked the boys, "What's going on here? Why have you stopped the rickshaw?" Mohit glanced at Jasleen and saw tears streaming down her face as she cried. Seeing her like that filled him with rage, and without waiting for an explanation, he lashed out at two of the boys, injuring them, while the third ran off. The rickshaw driver had already fled the scene. Mohit helped Jasleen get down from the rickshaw. She was badly shaken and trembling with fear. As he held her, she fainted in his arms. Mohit was at a loss for what to do, so he took her to a doctor. Once Jasleen regained consciousness, she went home with Mohit. Jasleen's house was small. She seated Mohit in a modest little sitting room. Just then, her sister-in-law and elderly mother entered the room. "Where have you been for so long?" her sister-in-law asked angrily. "Bhabhi, Jasleen had just begun to speak when her sister-in-law, Sunaina, interrupted harshly. "Oh, save it. You can't get married, and that's why you are doing all this. Be quiet, daughter-in-law. At least let the poor girl explain what happened. Show some decency in front of a guest, Jaslene's elderly mother said softly to her daughter-in-law. Sensing the tension in the atmosphere, Mohit quietly got up. All right then, I'll take my leave. I'm sorry, Jaslene said. As Mohit drove home, one question kept spinning in his mind over and over. Why did her sister-in-law say, "You can't get married," and what was she about to say next? That night, Mohit couldn't sleep. Then suddenly, at around 11:30 p.m., he got a call from Jaslene. Hello, is this Mr. Mohit speaking? Yes, Jaslene ma'am. Please, is everything all right? Sorry for disturbing you at midnight. Please don't mind, I couldn't even thank you properly. No, I wasn't sleeping. Please speak freely. Consider me a friend. Sir, I was waiting for everyone to fall asleep, that's why I called late. I just wanted to say, my sister-in-law has a very bitter nature. She says whatever comes to her mind. Even today, my brother scolded me a lot. Jaslene paused as she said this. Mohit thought he heard crying and couldn't hold back from asking, Are you crying? Did your brother hit you? Jaslene softly replied through her tears, Yes. You haven't told me everything, have you? Mohit asked, growing agitated. Sir, I told them everything, but my brother and sister-in-law don't believe me. They're misunderstanding both you and me. My brother said he's going to call you to our house tomorrow and question you, Jaslene said while crying. Let him do whatever he wants, I'm not afraid, Mohit said reassuringly. What really upset me is that he hit you. You tell me, he wants to talk? Then I'll come to your house tomorrow at 10 a.m. and we'll talk everything out right there. The next day, Mohit arrived at Jaslene's house. Jaslene invited him inside. Seeing the bruises on Jaslene's face, arms, and body, Mohit immediately understood that her brother had beaten her. He gently asked, Did your brother cause all these marks? Softly, Jaslene replied, Whenever my sister-in-law poisons his ears, my brother beats me like this. Just then, Jaslene's brother and sister-in-law walked into the room. Jaslene's brother looked at Mohit and said, I don't believe the story Jaslene told me yesterday. How is it possible that someone stopped her on the road, you saved her, took her to the hospital, and then she came home late in the evening? That's the same story she told me too, Jaslene's sister-in-law said to her husband. Mohit was thinking, the Jaslene who teaches at school and Jaslene who lives in a poor, orthodox, narrow-minded family, the difference between them is like night and day. At school, I was intimidated by Jaslene ma'am, and here, this helpless Jaslene is the one who's afraid of me. Gathering his courage, Mohit finally asked, Why are you doing all this? She's a teacher, she's educated and sensible, why would she lie? She's your sister, you should trust her. She's not a sister, she's a burden, a lifelong burden, blurted out Jaslene's outspoken sister-in-law. Please don't say that. After marriage, she'll leave this house and won't be a burden on you anymore, Mohit said gently. As soon as he said this, Jaslene got up and walked away. Mohit wanted to ask more questions now. Just then, her sister-in-law spoke up. Look, brother, she can never get married because when she was in college, she had a serious accident. The doctors said she would never be able to become a mother. Everyone in the neighborhood knows about this now. We can't even lie to get her married. You tell me, who would marry her? She's so beautiful that men keep chasing her all the time. If she ends up with a bad reputation, no one will marry my daughters. Mohit felt a deep sense of pity for Jaslene. His heart began to consider, if Jaslene agrees to take good care of his children, then he himself would marry her. So, tell me, what kind of man are you looking for? Mohit asked. Oh, we'd even marry her off to a laborer, but only if she agrees, Jaslene's brother said angrily. All right then, brother, I'll take my leave. If you ever need anything, feel free to call me, Mohit said, pulling out a business card from his wallet and handing it to Jaslene's brother, Sumesh. Here's my card and address. Sumesh read the card and, upon seeing the name of such a large mall, exclaimed, Brother, do you work at this place? How would I ever find you there? Oh no, this is my mall. I'm the owner, Mohit said. Hearing this, the ground seemed to slip from beneath Sumesh's feet. He quickly said, Sir, you are such a big man. We spoke to you so rudely without even realizing. Why would someone like you get involved with people like us? Sir, if we've made any mistake, please forgive us. No, it's all right. I'm running late now, so I'll take your leave, Mohit said and left. That night, once again around 11:30, Mohit received a call from Jaslene. I'm sorry, sir, for calling you at this time, she said. Oh no, Miss Jaslene, don't be so formal. We should be friends now, Mohit replied. Thank you, sir, Jaslene replied. Miss Jaslene, please stop calling me, sir, and tell me, why are your brother and sister-in-law so strange? Mohit asked, gently probing a bit deeper. Mohit ji, you saved my life. I'm fully aware of that, and I will never forget it for the rest of my life. Whenever you need me, you can call on me anytime, Jaslene was saying when Mohit interrupted. Jaslene ji, please forget the idea that I did you a favor. It was my duty. In fact, it should be everyone's duty, Mohit said. Mohit ji, where you should have been praised. Instead, my brother and sister-in-law treated you poorly and even doubted your intentions. That's what I'm ashamed of, thinking what you must be thinking about me, Jaslene said. Please don't worry at all. Your brother and sister-in-law didn't feel like strangers to me, Mohit was saying when Jaslene interrupted. Mohit ji, now please don't interrupt, let me finish what I'm saying, Jaslene said, slipping into her authoritative teacher's tone. The truth is everything used to be fine. Yes, we were poor, but not like this. Ever since my brother got married, the atmosphere in the house has completely changed. My sister-in-law doesn't even let my parents speak freely. She's not educated, and that's why she's jealous of me. She twists things and gets my brother to beat me over every little matter. She just looks for excuses to humiliate me. Since my accident, when I became infertile, she's been trying to force me to marry her widower brother. She's been ruining my reputation everywhere. I don't know how all this will end, but I've made up my mind, I will leave this world altogether. No, you will not do anything like that. Promise me, Mohit said, alarmed. Don't worry, Mohit ji. I will leave behind written notes in 2 or 3 places clearly stating that the reason for my death is my sister-in-law, no one else. No blame will ever come upon you, Jaslene said through her tears. Mohit grew even more anxious and said, You must not do anything like that. I'm not worried about being blamed, I'm worried about you. Whatever you say, I'm ready to do it. I can do anything to help rebuild your life. Mohit ji, you are taking pity on me. I don't want anyone's sympathy. What help can you possibly offer me? I only shared all this with you so you wouldn't be left wondering why I took such a step, Jaslene said. Jaslene ji, you are talking about dying. And they say that before death, a person speaks the truth. So tell me, in your eyes, what kind of person am I? Mohit asked, trying to distract her. You are not just a person to me, you are like God. I even wanted to do something for your children, but it's just not possible. My sister-in-law blocks me at every turn, Jaslene said. You could become the mother of my children, Mohit finally spoke his heart. I'm not that fortunate, Jaslene replied softly. Mohit said boldly, Jaslene, I love you and I want to marry you. What? What? Mohit ji, you are making this decision in a moment of emotion. I was saying something else, and you've steered the conversation in a completely different direction, Jasleen said. Yes, you were talking about your past. And I want to become your present. All I wish is that you fill the emptiness in my children's lives, Mohit said, gently pleading. If you want the truth, Mohit ji, there was a time I too wished to adopt a few children and raise them, to prove that I could be a good mother. But my sister-in-law would never let that happen. As for you, you are pitying me, and I don't want anyone's pity. Your children are so lovely, they'll easily find a good mother. But me. Jasleen trailed off and fell silent. There's no need to say anything more. Tomorrow morning, I'm coming to your house, Mohit said. Tonight, I won't let you do anything rash. I'm sending your brother and sister-in-law over to you right now. No, please don't. I trust you completely. I'm ready to be the mother of your children, and now no one will call me barren. But please, don't say anything to my brother or sister-in-law, Jasleen said anxiously. All night, Mohit kept checking in on Jasleen every hour or so to ask if she was okay. Jasleen felt touched by Mohit's concern. She began to weave golden dreams in her heart. She thought to herself, I will love the children so much that no one will ever call me barren. I will take such good care of them that they'll forget their real mother. Mohit, such a prominent man in the city, and my husband. I can't believe this is happening to me. If there were truly something wrong with me, I would never have found such a tall, handsome, well-educated, and wealthy man. Lost in these thoughts, Jasleen drifted into a dreamlike state. Within a few days, Jasleen and Mohit were married in a grand celebration. Jasleen, Mohit, and the children were overjoyed. The most envious of all were Jasleen's sister-in-law and Mohit's sister-in-law. As soon as she entered the household, Jasleen took full charge of raising the children. She and Mohit decided not to leave their jobs so they could continue supporting the children's education through the school. Days passed, and the children were happy and began scoring well in their studies. Pooja could no longer exert control. Jasleen would firmly stand up for the children's rights. She even started speaking up against her in-laws when it came to the children. The love between Mohit and Jasleen became an example for others. Vaibhav wouldn't stay without his mother anymore, and Piyu was always in Jasleen's arms. Vaibhav's aunt resented Jasleen because she had gained a strong and loving place in the household. On the other hand, Jasleen's sister-in-law was burning with jealousy, thinking that despite all the trouble she had caused, Jasleen still managed to find such a good man for herself. Sunaina even lost respect in her husband's eyes. Despite all her attempts to defame Jasleen, fate had made her the queen of a palace. Every time Jasleen's car pulled up in front of the house, it felt like a dagger through her sister-in-law's heart. One day, Sunaina felt the urge to check in on Jasleen's home. She knew Jasleen would be at school at that time, but still decided to call the house landline. Hello. Who is this? Pooja asked. This is Sunaina, Jasleen's sister-in-law, Sunaina replied. Your sister-in-law has gone to school. I'll let her know you called when she returns, Pooja said curtly, making a face as she spoke. So, how is our sister-in-law? Has she adjusted well into the family? Sunaina asked. Oh yes, she's adjusted everyone. I mean, she has adjusted well herself, Pooja replied. Sunaina felt that Pooja's tone carried a hint of jealousy. All right then, I'll hang up now, said Sunaina. Namaskar. Namaskar, Pooja responded. Sunaina sensed that Jasleen's sister-in-law wasn't entirely happy. She began provoking her brother, saying, Jasleen left you and married a rich man. You should get your revenge. Her brother Ramesh replied, She's already married. What can I do now? You can do everything, Sunaina insisted. You can defame her, blackmail her, and extort money. She's a millionaire now. If she ends up getting divorced, I'll have her marry you. Whatever you do, make sure no one finds out who you really are, Sunana said, trying to convince him. Laughing, Ramesh said, no one has ever escaped from my sister's clutches. Seeing him, Sunana also laughed and said, even Sumesh should find out. These days, he acts like a devoted brother to her, she added. Several days passed, and Jasleen had fully blended into the family. The children wouldn't stay without their mother now. Even Mohit began to feel lonely without Jasleen. One day, Jasleen received a phone call at school. Hello, may I speak with Jasleen, ma'am? Yes, this is Jasleen speaking. Who is this? She replied with surprise. Jasleen, it's Ashutosh calling from Delhi. How are you? I heard you got married, the caller said. Hearing the voice on the phone, Jasleen's body began to tremble. Memories of her childhood came flooding back. Nearly 18 years ago, Ashutosh and I loved each other so deeply. He was in the final year of his BSc, and I was just in 12th grade. Back then, we lacked both experience and understanding of life. My parents and my brother Sumesh had agreed to our marriage, but Ashutosh's parents refused. I cried so much. His family got him married off in Canada, and after that, I never saw him again. I never heard anything about him either. And now, suddenly, how and why is he calling? In just a single moment, the book she had closed 18 years ago, one she had forgotten after losing, began to open page by page before her eyes. Hello, Jasleen. Do you recognize me? The voice came again from the phone. Her dream snapped, and she couldn't help but say, I do recognize you, but the voice. It's not the same. Well, after so many years, some change is bound to happen, said the caller. How are you? Where are you these days? Jasleen asked, trying to compose herself. I'm doing well. I've come back to India. These days I've set up my own toy factory here, Ashutosh replied. Why did you remember me after so many years? Jasleen asked, feeling a bit uneasy. Come on, we were such close friends, our relationship had even reached the point of marriage, so why the formality now? Ashutosh said. Jasleen didn't respond and began thinking, Ashutosh was never like this. He used to be such a sensible guy. What kind of things is he saying now? All the respect I had for him feels was wasted. Can someone really change their nature so much with time? Just then, a voice came from the phone. Hey Jasleen, what happened? Why did you go quietly? Why aren't you saying anything? Jasleen hesitated and said, It's that time of the month. I must go. Okay, bye. A voice from the phone replied, Bye. Jasleen felt her head spinning. Why is Ashutosh suddenly behaving like this? It's been almost a year since I got married. So much has happened in my life. After that accident, I lost everything. But ever since Mohit and the children came into my life, it feels like I've gained everything back. Mohit is 1,000 times better than Ashutosh. He loves me so deeply. God bless him. Almost every day, calls began coming to her at school. A few days later, Jasleen saved the number under Ashutosh's name. Jasleen now began thinking of how to get rid of him. Whenever he called, she started rejecting the calls. One day, Jasleen finally said, I'm married. I have children. You don't even seem like Ashutosh to me. I don't want any friendship with you. Stop calling me. The reply came, Your husband is fake, and so are your children. You are only mine, and no matter what, I will make you mine. Jasleen became furious. You were blackmailing me. Wow, only now you realize I was blackmailing you. Took you long enough. Jasleen was terrified, her body began to tremble. She thought, What will I tell Mohit? I'll have to tell him about Ashutosh. What if he takes it the wrong way? Someone is blackmailing me over the phone. What will I do now? I don't even have anyone left at my maternal home to support me. She didn't even realize when school ended. On the way home, as she stepped out of the car, she suddenly collapsed. Vaibhav ran to call his aunt and grandmother. Meanwhile, the driver phoned Mohit. They tried everything to rouse her, but Jasleen remained unconscious. Just then, Mohit arrived, lifted her into his car, and rushed her straight to the hospital. He left Pooja and his mother at home to take care of the children. At the hospital, Jasleen underwent a full checkup. The doctor said she had suffered a nervous breakdown due to extreme mental stress. The doctor gave her a sedative injection to help her sleep and asked Mohit to wait. Mohit called home and informed the family not to worry. Just then, Jasleen's phone began ringing from inside her purse. Mohit took the phone out to see who was calling. To his surprise, it was someone named Ashutosh. Mohit answered the call with a "hello," but the caller hung up immediately. Curious, Mohit checked the call history, and it felt like the ground slipped from under his feet. Jasleen had been getting multiple missed calls from Ashutosh every day. Not only that, but there were also several romantic messages in her SMS inbox. Mohit's body began to tremble. He grew furious, suspecting Jasleen of betrayal. He said nothing, but the pain silently consumed him from within. Mohit brought Jasleen back home. Jasleen had regained consciousness, but she desperately needed Mohit's emotional support. She couldn't bear his coldness. Day by day, Jasleen grew weaker. The silence between Mohit and Jasleen only deepened their misunderstandings. Seeing the growing distance between Mohit and Jasleen, Pooja seized the opportunity. She began poisoning her mother-in-law's ears, who in turn started influencing Mohit. Pooja would often say things like, "She married our elder brother just to take his money. All that love for the children was just an act," and so on. One day, Jasleen asked, "Why don't you talk to me? Ever since I fell ill, you've stopped calling me. At least tell me what my fault is." Mohit snapped, "Be quiet. Don't make me open my mouth. You married me but kept loving Ashutosh. I don't even feel like calling you a woman, let alone a traitor. What explanation could you possibly give? All your secrets have already come out. Leave whenever you want. And stop pretending to care for the children. If you married me for money, then just tell me how much you want." Jasleen listened silently. How could she even begin to explain who Ashutosh really was? Seeing her quiet, Mohit left the room and headed to the mall. Pooja and Mohit's mother had overheard Mohit's outburst. This gave them the perfect opportunity to stir more trouble. That evening, when Mohit returned home, his mother called him into her room and said, "Mohit, I know why you are upset. You married her on your own, without even consulting us. We had proposals coming in from respectable families, but you paid no attention. A beautiful and educated girl becoming the mother of 2 children? That should have been a red flag. If there's something going on with her, I still advise you, leave her. We'll get you married to a nice girl from a respectable family. You are young, smart, and wealthy. Finding a girl for you is no big deal." Jasleen, hearing all this from outside, remained quiet, unsure how to explain who Ashutosh truly was. Jasleen said, "I don't know what's going on," and broke down crying. Mohit grabbed her purse and, holding her by the hand, pushed her out of the house. "Don't ever show me your face again. I'll only see you in court," he said. Jasleen left in an auto-rickshaw and went back to her maternal home. Without her, the children were in terrible condition, crying constantly. Vaibhav hated his aunt and everything she said. Life without his mother felt unbearable. She used to care for them at school, but at home, they were left alone. Meanwhile, Sunana was pleased. Finally, Jasleen's home had fallen apart. One day, Vaibhav gave Mohit an ultimatum: either bring mom back or send us to her. Seeing both children cry every day softened Mohit's heart. His own life had fallen off track without Jasleen. He didn't even miss his first wife as much as he now missed Jasleen. He couldn't cry in front of others, but in private, he often broke down. Finally, Mohit thought, Jasleen didn't want to leave. I was the one who threw her out. Even if she was unfaithful, she's still the mother of my children. The kids talk to her on the phone all day long. I'll go to her, make peace, and forgive her. Mohit took the children to visit Jasleen under the pretense of an outing. Vaibhav and Piyu began insisting that their mother come back with them. Mohit, too, felt the urge to ask Jasleen to return, but then the memory of the phone incident held him back. He said to Jasleen, "If not for me, then come back for the children," he said softly. Jasleen took the children into another room and said to them, "Don't come out until I call you." Then she stepped outside to speak with Mohit and said, "I'm not a beggar that I'll just return to your house like that. Keep your home to yourself. If it weren't for these children, maybe I wouldn't even be alive today. The bond I share with them is from the heart, and it always will be." Mohit, anger rising, replied, "What do you care about what I've gone through? You betrayed me so deeply. You didn't even care about my honor." Jasleen grew furious and, crying, began to speak. "Listen, Mr. Mohit, when I was in 12th grade, about 18 years ago, I became friends with a boy named Ashutosh. He was in the final year of his BSc. After a few months of friendship, he wanted to marry me. Our family agreed, but his family refused and got him married off in Canada. From that day until 3 months ago, I neither thought about him nor heard from him. I had completely forgotten him, like an unfinished dream. Then suddenly, one day, he called and said he was now living in India and running a factory here. But from the way he spoke and acted, I never felt he was the same Ashutosh, not for a moment. After that, he started calling me daily. I kept rejecting his calls. Then I blocked his number. He started sending me SMS messages. When I didn't reply, he threatened to create fake photos of me and upload them online. How could I have told you all this? I had no proof of my innocence." Mohit silently kept looking at Jasleen's face and listened to everything she said. There were tears in her eyes and anger on her face. She was shouting. Mohit felt broken inside. He thought, at a time when I should have stood by Jasleen, I threw her out of the house. His anger had cooled down. "Why didn't you tell me all this earlier?" Mohit asked, his voice trembling. Sunana, who had been eavesdropping outside, couldn't hold herself back and stormed into the room, shouting, "You go, leave. We never wanted her to marry you in the first place. Just because you have money doesn't mean we poor people have no dignity. She's not going with you now. Prepare for a divorce." Mohit and Jasleen were stunned to see this side of Sunana. Their eyes met. The outburst made Mohit uneasy. Something about Sunana's reaction felt off. He turned to Jasleen with firmness and said, "Jasleen, you're coming with me right now, this very moment. We'll talk about the rest at home." Jasleen also wanted to go back. Ever since she had told Mohit everything and he had understood, her heart longed to cry in his arms. She knew that if she didn't go now, her sister-in-law would never let her leave. Without saying a word, Jasleen went inside, packed her belongings, gathered the children, took her parents' blessings, and came out to the front room where Mohit was waiting. Before her sister-in-law could say anything, Mohit picked up the bags and walked toward the car. The children and Jasleen also said goodbye to Sunana and got into the car. Sunana stood there stunned, watching silently as Jaslene's car disappeared. Back home, Jasleen hugged Mohit tightly and cried her heart out. Mohit too felt the weight of his mistakes. Once again, fate had reunited the sky and the earth. The next morning, Mohit said, "Tell me where Ashutosh lives, I'm going to meet him." Mohit went to Ashutosh's house under the pretense of looking for someone else. Ashutosh's parents told him that their son had returned to India 5 years ago and was happily settled in his own life. Using the excuse of an old friendship, Mohit got Ashutosh's phone number from them. That night, Mohit asked Jasleen to call Ashutosh. When Jasleen asked him if he had been calling her, he denied it. Jasleen brushed it off as a misunderstanding and let the matter drop. Now Mohit spoke to the police and came up with a plan. Jasleen asked the fake Ashutosh, the man who had been calling her, to meet her in the ruins. He showed up, and Mohit arrived there with the police. It was then revealed that the man pretending to be Ashutosh was Jasleen's sister-in-law's brother. The police arrested him and sent him to jail. Mohit apologized to Jasleen, and with the truth finally revealed, peace returned to the family.